And welcome back to the Good Morning Show. We are live from the safe deposit box of the Andrew Johnson Bank studio. See, it works. Josh doesn't
I
like
can't
it.
see you.
It's okay. So we are now joined by Joy Key from the Museum Center. Welcome, Joy. How are you?
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
I'm great, and Jay, you look different.
Yeah, well, don't when the you won't have to worry about this, but if anyone at the barbershop says, "Hey, let me even out your beard real quick," and then they shave a good majority of it off and still have it uneven, then you have to change.
That was a sign that
Then you have to change
time
your
to go.
Yeah, then you have to change your whole
Well,
face.
as a woman with long hair, I do appreciate that
Yeah.
when you say an inch or two and they cut off 10 inches.
Yeah.
Right. Let me even this out for
Yeah,
you. Zzz, and it's all gone.
It's true.
So
we put our identities into our hair. We really do.
so I'm in the process of growing my face back.
Okay.
So until
Growing
then,
your
until then
identity.
until then I'm Wilson from Home Improvement, and I'm just gonna peek at you from over this touchscreen. So we are here to talk about some summer camps. So summer is pretty much here, I would say, and the Museum Center has a lot of really fun things. I'm looking at the calendar right now. Do you want to tell us about some of the things you have going on?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of different stuff going on, and of course with summers, the big chunk of our time is spent on summer camps. And this year, in the past, we've really just offered 2 weeks of summer camp. And then last year, I actually pilot tested some one-day camps for younger kids because we had a lot of people saying, "I want my 3-year-old to come to camp," and
Which is gonna be-
for a whole
which is
week,
gonna be
that's
what
a
I
little
say.
much.
Yeah.
That's a little much, but I tested some day camps and they worked out really, really well. So if you look at our calendar, we actually have 6 different camps listed, but some of them are only a day, some of them are 2 days. But we're bringing back archaeology camp. This is our 3rd year doing archaeology camp at the museum. It's incredibly successful every year. It's really fun. We, with the archaeology camp, we don't just take the kids out and let them dig in the backyard. We actually have a dig square set up out back behind the museum, and we teach the kids the vocabulary and the correct steps and exactly what it means to be an archaeologist, not just to go outside and stick a shovel in the ground, because that, my friends, is not archaeology. That is just digging.
Right.
So we teach them that, and then we of course connect it to the story of the museum, which is any objects that you find in the ground in archaeology help you tell the story of the people that lived in that area. And so the mission of the museum, that's what we do, is tell the story of the people that lived here. So archaeology is a very natural connection, and it's a really great summer activity to get outside. Last year we even did an ice archaeology activity where we froze some artifacts in ice and had the kids pound them out. It's just a different look. That is our dig site, so you can see we've got about half dozen kids out there at a time, and
It's pretty cool.
yeah,
My son would love that.
yeah, it's pretty awesome, and you can see actually the twine around the edges too. So we don't just dig in that whole square. We make them measure out a square, and you only dig one layer at a time, which is it's hard to see in that ground. It's very, very rocky, as you can tell. But you dig one layer at a time, and then you document what you see and what you found, and then you dig the next layer. And we have one of the sifters, the dirt sifters.
How much is a layer? How deep is it?
That's a great question. That would be a great question for my actual archaeology expert, who this year is Jill Barnett. She's an anthropology major from Lee, and she's done some field work out in Colorado and here in Tennessee, some archaeology field work. She also happens to be my sister. So it's fun. We do this camp together every year, and it's a lot of fun. But I honestly don't know the answer. It's not thick. I mean, you're not digging like a foot at a time. You're digging like an inch or even a few, they measure in meters, so a few centimeters down at a time. Yeah, and different dirt is different too. If you have really rocky dirt,
Right.
you're going to have a thicker layer, whereas if you have sand, you're going to have a thinner layer, or hardened sand, you're going to have thinner layers at a time.
Okay.
But it's super fun. So you can tell, we don't just, we really do get the kids involved in the learning of it, not just the activity, which is awesome. I think, there's a lot of learning loss that happens in the summer without getting too, preachy about it. There's a lot of that happens in the summer with all ages. And so anything that we can do as a community to provide opportunities for kids to be reading, be learning, be actively play learning throughout the summer will really help combat that learning loss and give them a head start when the new school year starts. So, so we have our archaeology, and then the other focus that we have for our camps is arts.
Okay.
And when I say arts, I mean all of it. So this, the Art All Around is only 3 days this year. I wish it could be a little longer, but we had some dates that we had to work around. So it's a 3-day camp this year, and this is probably my favorite camp. We don't just do visual arts. We also do some performance arts.
Oh, cool.
So we look at some Cherokee tales and Cherokee stories, and we do some active, what we call active reading. So we learn a story and we read through it, and then we, add in voices and actions and things to that. So you learn how to do more with a story than just, read it out of a book.
That's why I'm champion of bedtime reading.
There you go. Active reading. It's great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do that. We try to get them working with a lot of different mediums. So we use a lot of acrylic paint. That's the easy one to get a hold of. But we do some watercolor. We do clay. We do chalk. And multimedia, or I'm sorry, mixed media, not multimedia, mixed media. So, using recycled or found objects to make art as well. So we try to give a nice mix of, is this light? Like,
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it does that. You can't really
Okay,
see
it's
on
okay.
camera. Yeah,
it just was
it spazzes every once in a
spazzing
while.
me out.
so.
Okay. And so the art camp is really, really fun. So we have that one, and then we also have
That's that one.
the art for little ones and the archaeology for little ones at the end of the summer. So
Well, I was going to mention that because
Yeah.
it looks like we go back into in July. We get back into adventures in archaeology.
Yep. So we do an archaeology, then an art. Then we have a couple weeks off where we're doing something completely different, which I'll tell you about in just a second. But then we have archaeology again, and then the last week of July, when the parents are about to pull their hair out and the little ones need somewhere to go, we do the art for little ones and archaeology for little ones, which is the same content but appropriate for my 4 to 7 year olds. And I don't put it on the website, but I'll take a 3-year-old if I get a call and the parent can convince me that they can handle it.
Hooray!
But if they're an old 3, not a new
Right.
3, not a new 3. We don't really want the toddlers out there running around with.
And sometimes you have a sibling set too. That's
Yes,
yeah.
a sibling set that's like 3 and 6, and that works out really well. So that gives an opportunity for a couple days of fun with our little ones, which is fun for me too. And then we also have one that week, Stories and Art, which is for our older kids, or even, teens if they want. And that one is a little more in-depth. We get into a little bit of oil painting, a little heavier focus on the vocabulary and techniques of art versus just
And
let's
also,
learn about everything with,
yeah.
the younger kid art.
And you have some watercolors as well as using watercolors, acrylics, and mixed media.
Yes,
For that, which
Yep.
is kind of cool especially at that age to get
Yep.
into that level of different styles of art.
Yep.
So very cool. Now you said that you're going to have a couple weeks off.
Oh, they're not
So,
off.
right. Well, deterring from the summer camps, what
Yeah.
what will we be doing for those couple weeks?
So for the past year or more, I have been a part of a project called Waterways Connecting Communities. And this is a project that's funded by the U.S. Department of State, and it's administered by the American Alliance of Museums. We're one of 6 organizations in the country that got this grant this year, and it provided funds for me to put together a group of teenagers that we've been studying our local waterways here, primarily Mouse Creek, but also looking at Ocoee in Tennessee and talking about the importance of the water in our communities, and also environmental concerns related to the water. While we've been doing that here, our partner organization in Buenos Aires, Argentina, has been studying their river, El Riachuelo. And in March, I actually got to take my 8 students to Argentina, and we went and we visited the team there. And I have I have the photo. This one, yeah, that one. This is my 8 students that I took, along with the 2 other adults that I took, and all of the students from the Argentine team as well. So you can see all of us there, and this is in the lobby of the U.S. Embassy in Argentina. So we were invited to come and do a tour of the embassy there, and that was a really awesome experience. And that was one of the few indoor activities we did while we were there. While we were there, we did a lot of stuff connected to the river. We did a lot of actual work on the river itself. We looked at some recycling things that go on there in Argentina, and it was just a super unique experience. And watching the kids interact with each other. A lot of these kids had never left, Tennessee.
Right.
A couple of the kids in my group. A couple of them were pretty well traveled, but a couple, really hadn't ever left. For a couple of them, it was their first flight, all that kind of stuff. So it was a really, really awesome experience. And what is going to happen this summer is those students that you see there from Argentina are going to be coming here to Tennessee
we got the trade-off.
the last week of June. They're going to be here the 26th through July 5th. So they're going to be here through the 4th of July, which is really exciting. We have plans to, see the fireworks and all of that. But the big culmination of this whole thing for us here, will be a festival on Friday, June 30th, called the Waterways Community Festival. And this will be a chance for both the Tennessee and the Argentine students to share a lot of the stuff we've worked on during this project. And then a lot of our partners, Cleveland High School and Andor have been incredible partners in this. Mrs. Jeannie Cuervo from Cleveland High School, she teaches environmental science and aquatic biology. She has been my science expert for this trip, for this project, and she got to travel with us for it as well. And she is... she's I don't think she'll be offended when I call her our science nerd. She gets very, very excited about the water, about the fish. And then she also makes sure that my science facts are correct when I'm talking or presenting things. And then the Tennessee Aquarium has been good to us, done some programming with us. They'll be here. Hiwassee River Blueway, which is... we have the Greenway here in town, and so we also have the Blueway of the Hiwassee River, and that group will be here. Andor was my primary partner when I first put this grant together, and if you don't know about Andor, it's a joint partnership of the Boys and Girls Club and the Boy Scouts of America, and Andor is the only program of its name in the country. It started here, and it really works with young boys through teens to... They call it Passage to Manhood, and it's really to develop skills that are often lacking in today's young men, outdoor skills, building skills, and also just, how to be a good guy, at the end of the day. So it's a really great program, and all 5 of the young men that were in my program are from Andor. And Andor was vital to getting them to all of our meetings, and their director, Mike Stess, was an integral part of making sure that those guys could be involved, because they probably wouldn't have otherwise been able to be involved in all of the pieces of the project. So cool. Andor's a great, and then Cleveland Stormwater, Bradley County Stormwater, of course. They are awesome organizations that have some fun activities they'll be doing at the festival, and then Keep America Beautiful has a lot of neat programs as well going on. So that is.
So when you say a festival, 2 to 7 p.m., what all is going to be there?
Yeah, so all of these different organizations are going to have just tables set up, doing their own kinds of activities.
Okay.
It's really an opportunity to come and see what these students have been working on. It's an opportunity for them to also kind of show off the project and the relationships that they've built with each other. So it's also an opportunity for us to open up to our Spanish-speaking community here in town, because we'll have those Argentine students here that can help us with that, because my Spanish is very, very poor.
It's muy malo.
Yeah. And the... so a chance to really just show off all of that. There will be some activities and some giveaways and things like that, and we're kind of finalizing some of those details now. But it's a learning and awareness type of festival. It's not a sales festival or anything like that.
And just to be clear, it's at the museum.
It's
right?
at the museum center. Yes, it is, and it is free. And it's open, 2 to 7. Anybody can come. The exhibits will be open as well. And we've got some cool little things to show you if you come by.
Yeah,
that
that
day.
sounds exciting. I want to bring my boys up there.
Absolutely.
And I want to pull your Facebook page up too. So
yes,
if some folks want to get some more information about this, how they can get connected, to this project or even get involved.
Okay, so this picture. Oh, are you showing that? Sorry.
Yes, if you're
what's
on
on the
Facebook,
screen
you
right
can
now.
just go to Waterways
Okay.
Connecting Communities, and you can get some more information, and you can actually look at some of the photos from some of the things that have been done by this group of students. Of course, you'll be able to see some more of that at the festival as well.
So a lot of the pictures that you're seeing there on the Facebook page too are the festival will also be the quote unquote unveiling of the mural project that we've been working on the side of the museum.
yeah, that's right.
So on the west side of the museum building used to be just this big blank red wall, and now half of it is the Waterways mural, and it's all local aquatic life. We've been working with a professional artist out of Chattanooga named Holly Berry, and she's been incredible to provide lots of opportunities for our students, as you can see in these photos, to be a part of the painting. So what we're doing right in that photo is that is a hellbender, which if you know aquatic life in this area, you know is very unique and special to this area, the giant salamander, the hellbender, often called the last dragon. And that is the size that it will be, and we're painting it, and then we'll cut it out of this fabric that we call mural cloth, and it gets adhered to the wall. But if you drive by today, you'll see that the background of the wall is almost completely finished, and a couple of the animals are very visible, like the copperhead, and there's a giant snapping turtle there that you can see now. It's complete. So that's an alligator gar in that photo. Very, very big. Will be very dominating in the center of that mural. So this project has been a lot of fun, the mural painting.
And I want to go to this photo that Josh has
Yeah.
pulled up as well.
Yeah, what is this? one you
Okay,
sent
so
to me?
jumping back to when we went and visited Buenos Aires,
Okay.
this is the view from the third floor window of the Museo de Benito Quinquela Martín. And that is the museum that was our partner. And they are in the community of La Boca. And in the city of Buenos Aires, there are multiple different communities. And La Boca, which is just a little piece of Buenos Aires, the city, La Boca is larger than Cleveland. So if that gives you a feel for how huge Buenos Aires is, it's definitely a very big city. But looking out of the Museo onto the water there, that is El Riachuelo, which is their river that runs through. La Boca used to be a port city, so you can kind of see some of the big warehouse-style buildings around the edges where it used to be where ships came to port. And it is no longer so. And El Riachuelo is one of the most polluted rivers in the world. You can't necessarily see from this picture, but if you look out and you see all these kind of spots in the water, that's bunches of trash that are just floating in the water. It is very, if you look over the edge of that, you want to turn around and walk away. It is very, very polluted water. Those little boats there on the right are actually City of Buenos Aires cleaning boats. And they go up and down the river with scoops and nets and things and just constantly are cleaning the trash out, because if they didn't, it would just be a complete pile of trash in the water. And so there's a lot of issues there with the cleanliness of the river. But what the Museo there focuses on is trying to bring beauty and color to the city, because that's their founder, Benito Quinquela. He wanted people to love their community regardless of everything else, and he wanted their spirits to be lifted when they were walking through their community. And so if you go to La Boca, you'll notice a lot of the buildings are painted different colors, and then you can see the students and other members of the museum actually helped paint the walkway out there, all those multicolored, every brick is a different color. And then if you look out into the water, and if you go to the Facebook page, you can see a lot more detailed images of this.
Here's a
But okay, so out in the water, those are actually quote unquote stars made out of plastic water bottles. So the equivalent of our Coke bottle here or Pepsi bottle here, they painted each one a different color and then tied them into bundles so that they kind of spread out like a star. And then we strung all of those stars together in a big strip. And then those strips are those 6 things you see out in the water there. And
you
the
kind of
boat,
see a close-up right there of of them kind of tied at the bottle cap right there.
And the guys in the boats were super helpful to help us. They made sure that they got connected on one end to the other. And when we had a festival when we went there, and this was kind of the highlight of that festival was this bringing color to the water is what they called it.
You can really see the difference in all the bricks here.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, so bringing the color to the water and the color to the community is a big mission of that museum there. And we got to help with that part of the project, and that was a big
Cool.
part of the activity that we did while we were there. And yeah, it really brightened people. A lot of people, you know, it makes people stop, and it makes people look, and it makes people say, well, what's going on? And then it gives you the chance to say, well, did you know that this river is extremely polluted, and here's what we're trying to do to help,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Very cool.
So it's very awesome.
So, Josh, if you could put that flyer up one more time, just to remind some folks of
Yeah.
when they can come get some more information about this, or actually come to the event on June 30th. So from 2 to 7, and this will be at the Museum Center,
At the Museum Center,
June
so
30th.
downtown.
and it's free.
And it's free. And again, you know, all of this project is possible because of, you know, Department of State and American Alliance of Museums. And then for the festival and the mural specifically, we got some additional funding from the Lyndhurst Foundation out of Chattanooga. They're very interested in environmental and arts, and especially the connection of those two things. So doing the mural on the building was a real exciting project for them, and they wanted to get involved. So I'm always happy to hear that.
Now, let me back up to what we started on and
Yeah.
pull this graphic up here. If you wouldn't mind telling us about this one more time, too.
Yeah, so again, summer camps, our first one starts in just a week and 3 days, and the first week of June, and that's our archaeology. And then we have a few days of art, and then another week of archaeology. And then in the end of July, we have our art for little ones, and then also a older kid art camp.
Awesome.
So lots of different camps, lots of fun to be had by all. Oh,
Yeah,
we
the
do have
museum's a happening
scholarships.
place.
Sorry, yeah. For summer camps, there's a couple spaces available in most of them, and more available in others, but we have scholarships available for all the camps, and that is sponsored by SunTrust. SunTrust Bank came through with an awesome donation this year, so that I'm able to offer a lot of scholarships this year. And so
Cool.
we've you can go to if you go to the website, the summer camp website, you can click on a link and just fill out the online form, and then we'll get back to you
So
within a few
here's-
days about the scholarship information. Yeah,
So
right
at the
there.
so in each of the categories for the summer camps,
Yep.
there's a link that you can click on, and then it will go to this form.
And
and
you
you can
just
fill
tell
it
us
out.
which camp you're looking at applying to down there, one of the questions. And
Now, do you have space allotment? Like, will it fill up and then you have to cap it off?
yeah, so we
Okay.
do cap the middle-aged camps, I guess. We cap at about 20.
Okay.
And then the little one camps, we cap at 12.
So based on popularity of last year, people should get on this pretty quick.
Yeah, they should. I will say that the art all around and our first Adventures in Archaeology are almost sold out. So if you want to get in on
Okay.
that first camp or the art camp, June 12th through 14, definitely go ahead and get online today and do those, because those are the two that are almost full. But of course, for July, we've got some room left in our July camps, because
Sure.
people don't always plan that far out. Not sure if they're going to be here, but
So
we're
lots
here
of
for you.
lots of fun things happening at the museum.
Yep.
And if you have questions, of course, Facebook, you can check out the museum at 5 Points.
Absolutely.
And then museumcenter.org
Yep.
will have links to the different camps and the information
different camps,
about.
and also then if you go to our website, you'll see our different temporary exhibits we have right now. We have a War Memorials exhibit. We're opening a History of Stoves exhibit sponsored by Whirlpool.
Oh, yeah.
So not just stoves, but stove manufacturing.
Sure.
I'm sorry, here in Cleveland, specifically with Dixie and Magic Chef, which moved into becoming
Right.
Whirlpool, of course. So that exhibit's opening next month. So we've got a lot of neat stuff to see and do all summer long.
Cool.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Joy, for coming by. We're looking forward to, of course, I mean, summer's almost here, and a lot of things to do, and it's great that we have an amazing museum that offers so many things for kids, so they're not just kind of just hanging around, just playing video games. They get a chance to go out, do some art, do some archaeology, meet some new people, also from, people from other countries as well. And if you have any questions, you can go to museumcenter.org/summercamp to get some more information, and you can even fill out a scholarship form presented by SunTrust. So thank you again, Joy, for coming by, and feel free to stop by anytime during the and share some pictures with us too from all the summer camps.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, we may check in with you during the summer to see how things
Yeah,
are going.
it's fun. Yeah, we try to post some photos and stuff on the museum's Facebook page, but
Yep.
yeah, sometimes you're busy.
Yeah, it happens.
A little distracted.
Sometimes. Well, we will take a quick break, and we will be right back. Thank you.